If you're over 60, I need you to hear this. Right now, there are 5 everyday foods sitting in your kitchen that could be quietly destroying your joints, triggering stiffness, swelling, and pain that doctors often dismiss as just aging. But here's the shocking truth. Research from the Journal of Nutrition and Aging shows that nearly 70% of seniors' joint pain is linked not to age itself, but to hidden inflammatory compounds in common foods. The good news: for every dangerous food, there's a healing food, simple ingredients that can rebuild cartilage, reduce inflammation, and give you back the freedom to move without pain. Today, we'll expose the 5 worst foods that attack your joints and reveal the 5 that restore them, so you can take control of your health starting tonight. For millions of seniors worldwide, joint pain feels like an unavoidable part of life. Knees ache when you climb the stairs, hips tighten when you sit too long, shoulders throb at night, stealing your sleep. Doctors often shrug and say it's just arthritis, part of getting older, but is it really? The truth is far more unsettling and far more hopeful. Rose, a 68-year-old grandmother from Ohio, had lived with constant knee pain for nearly a decade. Each morning, she would wake up with joints so stiff that she could barely make it to the bathroom without clutching the walls. Her doctor prescribed anti-inflammatory pills, but the side effects upset her stomach. When she asked if diet could help, he simply shook his head. Food doesn't really matter for arthritis. But Rose's story changed when her granddaughter introduced her to an article from Harvard Health Publishing. The research revealed that specific foods can trigger chronic inflammation in seniors, making arthritis far worse, while other foods actually repair cartilage and soothe swelling naturally. Within 3 months of changing what she ate, Rose noticed something incredible. She could walk around the block without her cane. Her story is not rare. A 2022 study in the Journal of Gerontology followed 200 seniors over 5 years. Researchers discovered that seniors who consumed high amounts of inflammatory foods had a 58% higher risk of severe arthritis progression. On the other hand, seniors who replaced those foods with healing alternatives reported a 41% reduction in joint pain scores within just 6 months. The implication is clear. Aging doesn't automatically destroy joints. Our diets often do. To understand why, we need to look at what's happening inside the body. Joints are cushioned by cartilage, a smooth tissue that allows bones to glide without friction. But when the body is flooded with inflammatory compounds like omega-6 oils, refined sugars, and chemical preservatives, this cartilage begins to erode. White blood cells rush in to fix the damage, releasing cytokines that actually attack the joint lining itself. Think of it like a small fire that never goes out. Every bite of the wrong food is like tossing gasoline onto the flames. Over time, that fire destroys the cushion in your joints, leaving bone grinding against bone. That's when the pain becomes unbearable. One of the worst offenders is processed meat, things like bacon, hot dogs, sausages, and deli ham. These meats contain advanced glycation and products ages, toxic compounds formed when meat is smoked, fried, or cured. A 2019 Harvard study found that seniors who ate processed meats at least 4 times a week had double the risk of severe joint inflammation compared to those who avoided them. The nitrites and preservatives in these meats act like sparks in your bloodstream, igniting inflammation that settles in your knees, hips, and fingers. George, a 72-year-old retired engineer, used to eat ham sandwiches for lunch every day. His hands became so stiff that he couldn't button his shirt without help. After learning about achy, he cut processed meats completely, and within 6 weeks, the swelling in his knuckles decreased by nearly 40%. For every joint destroying food, there's a healing counterpart. In this case, leafy greens like kale, spinach, and Swiss chard are powerful protectors. They're loaded with vitamin K, which reduces inflammation markers in the blood. They also provide magnesium, a mineral that relaxes muscles around the joints. In fact, a 2020 study from the University of Sydney found that seniors who ate 1 cup of leafy greens daily had a 35% lower risk of arthritis progression. Even more astonishing, many reported improved mobility within just 12 weeks. Rose, the grandmother from Ohio, made one simple swap. Instead of bacon and eggs, she began her mornings with a spinach omelet. Within 2 months, she could bend down to tie her shoes without wincing. Another silent attacker hides in plain sight: refined sugar, cookies, cakes, soda, and even healthy granola bars can overload your bloodstream with glucose. Excess sugar leads to glycation, a process where sugar molecules bind to proteins in your cartilage, making them brittle and prone to cracking. The Arthritis Foundation warns that seniors who consume more than 50 grams of added sugar per day have a 78% greater chance of worsening joint pain. Yet many don't realize how much sugar is hidden in everyday foods: yogurt, ketchup, breakfast cereal. Margaret, a 70-year-old teacher, loved sweet tea, but her hip pain was so severe that she could no longer garden. When she swapped sugary drinks for herbal teas, her inflammation markers dropped dramatically. Within 3 months, she was back in her flower beds, digging without pain. Instead of sugar, berries like blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries offer sweetness with protection. They are packed with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that neutralize inflammatory free radicals. A 2018 Tufts University study found that seniors who ate 2 cups of berries per week experienced a 25% improvement in joint stiffness compared to those who didn't. The participants also showed lower CRP levels, a key marker of inflammation. George, the engineer, began adding a handful of blueberries to his morning oatmeal. Not only did his sugar cravings fade, but his morning stiffness eased as well. The food industry wants you to believe arthritis is an unchangeable part of aging. That way, you'll keep buying pain pills, supplements, and expensive injections. But real science and real stories prove otherwise. The joints of seniors aren't doomed by time. They are under attack from everyday foods. And the moment you swap those foods for healing alternatives, your body begins repairing itself. When seniors think about joint pain, they often picture the obvious culprits: heavy lifting, too much walking, or simply wear and tear. But the truth is far sneakier. Your joints are being sabotaged daily, not just by what you do, but by what you eat. And many of these foods look harmless until you feel the pain in your knees, hips, and hands. Let's uncover the next 3 dangerous foods quietly eroding your mobility and their healing replacements that can help restore it. Bread and pasta have been staples for decades. Many seniors grew up with sandwiches for lunch and spaghetti dinners every Sunday. But modern versions of these foods are made from refined white flour stripped of its natural fiber and nutrients. When you eat them, your blood sugar spikes rapidly, flooding your body with glucose. This triggers the release of pro-inflammatory cytokines, chemicals that damage your cartilage and irritate the lining of your joints. Over time, this repeated cycle wears down the protective cushion inside your knees and hips. A 2020 study in the Journal of Nutrition and Healthy Aging found that seniors who ate refined grains daily had a 46% higher risk of developing chronic knee pain than those who ate whole grains. Researchers pointed out that the inflammation caused by refined carbs was nearly as damaging as smoking. Harold, a 74-year-old retired carpenter, lived on white bread toast and pasta bowls. His knees were so swollen he couldn't stand for more than 10 minutes. When his doctor suggested knee replacement, Harold looked for alternatives. He replaced refined bread with whole grain rye and switched pasta to quinoa-based noodles. Within 3 months, his swelling decreased, and he could walk a full mile without stopping. The healing answer isn't cutting carbs altogether, it's choosing the right ones. Whole grains like oats, brown rice, quinoa, and buckwheat contain fiber and phytonutrients that calm inflammation instead of fueling it. Fiber is especially critical because it feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which produce short, chain fatty acids, compounds that reduce inflammation throughout your body, including in your joints. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition published a study showing that seniors who replaced refined grains with whole grains had a 31% reduction in C-reactive protein CRP, the primary blood marker of inflammation. Pairing whole grains with seeds like flax or chia can supercharge the effect. Seeds provide omega-3 fatty acids, which lubricate joints and reduce stiffness. Harold now starts his mornings with steel, cut oatmeal sprinkled with flax seeds. He says it feels like oil for my joints. For decades, margarine was marketed as a healthier alternative to butter. Seniors were told it was heart-friendly. But hidden inside margarine, vegetable shortening, and many processed oils are trans fats and high levels of omega-6 fatty acids, two of the worst enemies for your joints. Trans fats cause systemic inflammation by interfering with your cell membranes. Omega-6 oils like soybean, corn, and sunflower oil tip the balance of fatty acids in your body toward inflammation. When consumed in excess, they flood your system with arachidonic acid, which triggers pain and swelling in your joints. A 2018 Harvard Medical School report showed that seniors who consumed high amounts of trans fats were 73% more likely to suffer from rheumatoid arthritis symptoms. Even worse, these fats accumulate in your tissues, meaning the damage builds silently over years. Patricia, a 69-year-old retired nurse, thought she was doing the right thing by cooking with sunflower oil, but her hands became so swollen she couldn't hold knitting needles. Once she learned the truth, she switched to extra virgin olive oil and avocado oil. Within weeks, she noticed her morning stiffness reduced significantly. The healing side of the story is simple yet powerful: healthy fats. Extra virgin olive oil contains olecanthal, a natural compound that works similarly to ibuprofen in reducing inflammation. Avocados are loaded with healthy unsaturated fats and antioxidants that protect cartilage cells from damage. Most importantly, omega-3 fatty acids from fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, or from plant-based flax and chia seeds, are joint lubricators. They not only reduce inflammation, but also promote the production of collagen, which helps rebuild damaged cartilage. A landmark study from the Journal of Rheumatology found that seniors who increased their omega-3 intake reported a 45% reduction in morning stiffness and were able to cut their reliance on pain medications. Patricia, the retired nurse, now enjoys avocado toast with olive oil drizzle for breakfast. Her rheumatologist was astonished at her improved blood work. Her CRP levels had dropped by half. This one shocks many seniors because they grew up believing milk builds strong bones. But modern dairy often does the opposite. Conventional cow's milk and cheese contain casein proteins and lactose sugars that can trigger immune responses in sensitive individuals, leading to inflammation in the joints. Dairy also contains saturated fats that can increase systemic inflammation. A * 2017 study in the Journal of Inflammation Research showed that seniors with arthritis who consumed high amounts of dairy reported significantly worse joint pain than those who limited it. James, a 71-year-old former mechanic, loved his nightly glass of milk and cheese snacks, but his shoulder pain was so severe that he struggled to lift his grandkids. When he cut out dairy and replaced it with anti-inflammatory alternatives, he noticed improvement in just 6 weeks. The good news: you don't need to give up calcium or bone strength. Plant-based alternatives like almond milk, oat milk, and coconut yogurt provide the same creamy texture without the inflammatory proteins. Many are fortified with calcium and vitamin D to support bone density. Even better, leafy greens like collard greens, kale, and bok choy provide highly absorbable calcium. Sesame seeds and tahini are also excellent calcium sources while being joint-friendly. A * 2021 study in the British Journal of Nutrition found that seniors who replaced dairy with plant-based sources experienced a 25% improvement in joint mobility and stronger bone density scores after 1 year. James now enjoys almond milk smoothies blended with kale and bananas. Not only has his pain decreased, but his bone scans show healthier density than 5 years ago. So far, we've exposed 5 dangerous foods: processed meats, refined sugar, white bread and pasta, margarine and processed oils, and conventional dairy that silently attack your joints. Each one floods your body with inflammatory compounds that erode cartilage and stiffen mobility. But we've also revealed 5 powerful healing foods: leafy greens, berries, whole grains, healthy fats, and plant-based calcium sources that protect and even rebuild your joints. The choice is clear. Every meal is either destroying your joints or healing them. And the difference can be felt in weeks, not years. Harold, Patricia, James, Rose, and George are just a few examples of seniors who discovered that joint pain wasn't inevitable. It was influenced by their forks. Imagine bending down to pick up your grandchild without wincing. Imagine walking up the stairs without clutching the railing. Imagine waking up with energy instead of stiffness. These aren't distant dreams. They're the reality of seniors who took control of their plates. And the best part, you can start tonight. By now, you've seen the hidden dangers: 5 everyday foods that quietly inflame and destroy your joints, and the 5 powerful healing foods that can turn the tide. But knowledge alone isn't enough. Seniors across the world struggle not because they don't care, but because they feel overwhelmed. How do I really change after 60? Can food really make this much difference? Isn't it too late for me? The truth is, it's never too late. And you're not alone. Joint pain isn't just physical. It steals your life piece by piece. It takes away the joy of kneeling in your garden. It robs you of dancing at family weddings. It makes you hesitate before lifting your grandchild. And worst of all, it makes many seniors feel like a burden. Take Linda, a 67-year-old from Texas. She once loved hiking with her husband, but as her arthritis worsened, she stayed home while he went out with friends. I felt trapped in my own body, she confessed. It wasn't just the pain, it was the loneliness that came with it. But Linda's story changed the moment she realized food was not just fuel, it was medicine. Let's pause and connect the dots scientifically. Processed meats fill your bloodstream with achy and nitrites joint inflammation. Healing swap. Leafy greens boost antioxidants and vitamin K less cartilage breakdown. Refined sugar fuels glycation, brittle cartilage, and swelling. Healing swap. Berries provide anthocyanins, inflammation reduced, joints lubricated. Refined bread and pasta spike blood sugar cytokines, attack joints. Healing swap. Whole grains and seeds gut health improved, inflammation reduced. Margarine and processed oils overload omega-6s and trans fats immune system on attack mode. Healing swap. Healthy fats from olive oil, avocado, and omega-3 fish calm inflammation, rebuild cartilage. Conventional dairy triggers immune responses in sensitive seniors' pain and stiffness. Healing swap. Plant-based milks and leafy greens calcium without inflammation. Notice the pattern. The danger foods spark constant fire in your body, while the healing foods pour water on the flames. One of the most empowering lessons seniors learn is that massive change doesn't come from giant leaps. It comes from tiny swaps every day. Replace your ham sandwich with a spinach and avocado wrap. Swap your sweet tea for a berry smoothie. Choose brown rice instead of white pasta. Drizzle olive oil instead of using margarine. Pour almond milk instead of cow's milk. Individually, these changes seem small, but together, over weeks and months, they compound into something extraordinary. Dr. Amelia Watson, a nutrition researcher at Stanford University, explains it this way: every meal you eat is either medicine or poison for your joints. Over 60, you don't need perfection, you just need consistency. Let's return to Linda. She decided to test the joint, healing foods for herself. She didn't overhaul everything overnight. Instead, she made one change per week. Week 1, replaced processed bacon with leafy greens at breakfast. Week 2, added blueberries to her snacks instead of cookies. Week 3, switched her pasta dinner to quinoa and brown rice. Week 4, used olive oil instead of margarine. Week 5, tried oat milk instead of regular milk. By the 6th week, Linda noticed something amazing. She could climb her porch stairs without gripping the railing. By the 3rd month, she was walking 2 miles every morning. By the 6th month, she and her husband went on a hiking trip for the first time in years. Her doctor reduced her medication, and her lab results showed a dramatic drop in CRP inflammation markers. Linda now says, "I thought my body was betraying me, but really, I was betraying it with the foods I chose. Once I gave it what it needed, it gave me my life back." Food is the foundation, but a few simple lifestyle practices can magnify healing. Gentle movement, walking, tai chi, and water aerobics improve blood flow and nourish your joints with oxygen. Seniors who move at least 30 minutes daily report 25–40% less stiffness. Stretching and flexibility, light yoga or chair stretches maintain joint range of motion. Flexibility prevents the tightening that worsens pain. Hydration cartilage is 70% water. Without hydration, joints grind instead of glide. Aim for 6–8 cups of water or herbal teas daily. Sleep and repair during deep sleep. Your body produces growth hormones that repair cartilage. Seniors who sleep 7–8 hours nightly heal nearly 30% faster than those who sleep less. Pairing healing foods with these habits creates a synergy, a full body system of renewal. Close your eyes and picture it. You wake up in the morning and stretch without wincing. You walk through your garden, bending to pull weeds with ease. You join your grandchildren in a game of tag, laughing freely. You take vacations, climb stairs, and dance at weddings without pain holding you back. This isn't fantasy. It's the reality of seniors who stopped fueling their joint pain with the wrong foods and started nourishing themselves with the right ones. Here's the raw truth. Every day, you're either feeding your pain or feeding your healing. If you continue with processed meats, sugar, refined carbs, margarine, and conventional dairy, your joints will continue to deteriorate and your world will shrink with every step. But if you embrace leafy greens, berries, whole grains, healthy fats, and plant-based calcium, you can stop the damage and even reverse years of stiffness. The choice is in your hands, or more accurately, on your plate. Linda's words sum it up best. "I thought my 60s would be the beginning of the end. Now I realize they're just the beginning of a new chapter. I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving." That's the power of food. That's the power of choice. That's the power still inside you, no matter your age. For too long, seniors have been told that aching knees, stiff hips, and sore hands are simply the price of getting older. But now you know the truth. It's not just age, it's the food you eat every single day. We uncovered 5 dangerous foods: processed meats, refined sugars, white breads and pastas, margarine and processed oils, and conventional dairy. Each one silently inflames your joints, erodes your cartilage, and steals your mobility. But we also revealed their healing counterparts: leafy greens, berries, whole grains, healthy fats, and plant-based calcium sources. Each one calms inflammation, strengthens cartilage, and restores your freedom to move. The message is clear. Aging is inevitable, but joint pain doesn't have to be. Every meal is a choice to fuel pain or fuel healing, a choice to shrink your world or expand it, a choice to live in limitation or live in freedom. Even small changes, adding spinach to your breakfast, swapping soda for berry tea, choosing brown rice instead of white pasta, can transform your joints over weeks and months. The science proves it, and the stories of seniors like Rose, George, Patricia, Harold, James, and Lindy prove it even more. Remember, it's never too late to heal. Your joints are waiting for you to make the right choice. So if you've been living with pain, stiffness, or swelling, don't give up hope. The solution isn't found only in prescriptions or surgeries. It can begin right at your kitchen table, one plate, one bite, one choice at a time. You deserve to walk freely. You deserve to dance again. You deserve to live your golden years without chains of pain. And with the power of healing foods, you can. Now, we want to hear from you. Which of these 5 healing foods are you most excited to try first? Comment your age and your choice below. We reply to every single comment because your story matters. If you found this video helpful, please like it so more seniors can discover these healing secrets. Subscribe because we share powerful senior health tips every single day. Share, send this to a friend, spouse, or family member who needs hope for their joints. And stay tuned because in our next video we're revealing 3 bedtime habits that can reverse joint stiffness overnight. You won't believe how simple they are or how quickly you can feel relief while you sleep. Your journey to pain-free living has only just begun.